Good morning everyone, how are we? So today I'm just cruising over to Paignton, along the seafront. We're going to do a little park up and a bit of a video. It's a bit grey today, which is a bit of a shame because we've had some nice sunny days. I'm not working today, so it gives me plenty of time. I have moved job-wise, so I'm not working in Plymouth anymore. I actually am working in Torquay, where I live, so it's really handy in terms of not putting any unnecessary mileage onto the van, which is great, and I'm saving about 2 hours a day in time, so that's really good as well. But it just means that the van's not heating up like it normally would, so I'm trying to have a little bit of a cruise out today just to warm things up whilst it's cold. So I've come along to Preston Beach, which is over at Paignton. This spot here, which overlooks the beach and the railing, in the summer has beach huts. So you can't really park here, but when they're not here, it's free parking, which is great. There's loads of people here today, so it's not usually like this. I can turn up and it's absolutely empty. But today, obviously, with parking and charges, people aren't going to pay if they can park here for free. So that's the beauty of it. I only tend to do free park ups where I don't have to pay. And the reason for that is that it's just more hassle. More than anything else, you can pay and spend money, or you can save money, and it's not just about saving the money. Like I say, it's just such an issue if you do pay for parking. And I'll give you an example. Obviously you saw that I was down at Abbotsbury, and I parked down at Chisel Beach to get some scenes and some footage for the video. I think I put an hour on the parking before I decided what I was going to be doing, and I was there for about half an hour. I used the machine, I put in cash, and a couple of days ago I get a ticket through the post to say that I hadn't paid for parking and I now owe £100, and if I pay it quickly I have to pay 60, which is really freaking annoying, and it's happened so many times. It's like an absolute con, it really is. I absolutely 100% put money in the machine, double checked my reg plate to make sure I was inputting it correctly, put on an hour, and lo and behold I get slapped with a parking ticket. And I've tried to contest it, but I haven't got any, because I put money in, I pay cash, I haven't got card receipts, I haven't got anything at all except for the information that I would assume is in the machine. So I don't know how that's going to go. It looks like I'm going to be paying out 60 quid for that trip, just because I chose to park in a parking place that I had to pay for. So really pissed me off. And like I say, it's probably the last time I'm ever going to pay for parking at all, because it's not the first time this has happened. So in today's video, what we're going to be looking at is some of the essential things that you are going to need if you are thinking about starting out van life. Now, these are things that are really going to help you along the way, and you really can't do without. So yeah, let's have a look at it. So the first thing, and the number one thing that you are going to need, is some sort of source of power. Now, I've got multiple power sources in the van, but the one I rely on the most is a power station. Now, I have a campsite hookup, which is really nice, and I also have a leisure battery. My leisure battery, I don't know if you can see that, is just on the wall there. I can plug in 12 volts. I haven't got an inverter plugged into it, so I only use 12 volt ports, so I don't use it massively. My fridge is hooked up to the leisure battery. I don't use much off of it. This here, I don't know if you can see, I'll pull this one up. That one there is my campsite hookup, so everything can plug into that when I'm on a campsite, and I can help myself to as much power as I really want to. But this one here, my All Powers power station, this one I use very often. This is an 1800 kilowatt power station. You've seen it in some of my other videos, but I rely on this a lot for low wattage heating sources and plugging into for power for my laptop and other bits. Really handy. You can take it in and obviously charge it up in the house or at work or wherever, but I would say this, if you haven't got anything else, would be the most important thing to have. You do need a source of power. So the second absolute must that should be on your list is a kettle. Now, this is just a low wattage kettle. It plugs into my power station, and it will pretty swiftly boil up just under a litre of water. So if I want to make coffee in the mornings, I can use this quite easily. But one of the biggest things is obviously it's handy to have water on board as well. I have a small bottle of water in the back. I say a bottle, it's like a concertina style water canister that I got from a camping store, and it is really handy because you will need at some stage some sort of water, so I just keep that in the back and I can use it as and when. Again, for boiling up water, mornings, really handy. But the other thing I use quite often, especially this time of year, is a hot water bottle. Now, mine looks cool. Got this from Dunelm, but I can boil water up, use a hot water bottle when it's cold. As you know, having a diesel heater is awesome, but I know most of you aren't going to have a diesel heater, so there is other bits that you can use, and having a kettle and being able to boil water is going to be really handy. So one of the biggest things to think about, especially this time of year, is staying warm in your van. It doesn't matter how insulated your van is, it's still going to get cold quite quickly unless you have something to help you stay warm. So the things I rely on, you've seen my, and I'll just show you that quickly, my little low wattage heater. Does take the chill off. I can plug it again into my power station, and it doesn't take up a huge amount of power from the power station at all. I could literally leave it on all night and it wouldn't use too much at all. It's 80 watts, so it's similar to many other low wattage heating products that you can get. The other thing, obviously, I rely on massively, and I've just had to get a new one, is an electric blanket. Now, this is an over blanket. I did have like a teddy bear one. This is like a faux fur heated throw, a Silent Night one, which I've just picked up. That will come in so handy when it's cold and that you don't have any heating in the van. When you're in bed, you're so warm. I can't recommend that enough. Make sure you have one. Again, doesn't take up much power, and you can have it on all night. You can put it on a timer, most of them, various heat settings, and when you're in bed, it's absolutely lovely. So another thing I use, again for warmth, is this one. Now I got this from Lidl's, I think. It wasn't expensive. It's just a nice big chunky Oodie. Nothing too different from any other Oodie, except this one you can plug into a little power bank and it's heated. Plug that into your power bank, pop it in the pocket, and you're toasty warm. You can obviously go outside, keep it on in bed, that sort of thing, and in the evenings this will keep you super warm, and it's cheap. The other thing I use in bed, and I got these I think from Trago. Yeah, Trago. These are JCB thermal socks, and believe me, when you got these on, your feet are toasty warm. It does make a difference. I wear them in bed, and if I get up, I can just slip my sliders on. Again, sliders are something that I would absolutely recommend if you're van lifing. You can just slip them on and off when you're getting in and out of the van, and yeah, absolutely does make a difference, making sure that you're warm in bed. The other thing I would recommend is battery operated lighting. This is a real cheap, I think this was £2. It's like a little battery operated lamp. There we are. And you can turn it up and down with the heating. Looks like a little oil lamp. But this doesn't use any of my onboard power whatsoever. And that battery does last a hell of a long time. I think I've changed it once maybe, only because I left it on all night, I think, and it was on all evening as well. But things like this, obviously I have lighting in the van. That's off of the leisure battery, but having these extra little bits of lighting that's battery operated isn't going to reduce your power that you have in the van, especially if you're on long journeys, long trips, where you can't charge up your power stations or plug in. It does make a difference. Some of my other van life absolute musts are very simple. This one, just a little cool bag. If you don't have a fridge, I do, but I also do use this cool bag. It keeps all your food together anyway, but obviously in the summer it's nice to be able to keep it somewhat cool and out of the sun. I have this one, and again, if you are on long journeys and you're out in the middle of nowhere, being able to go to the toilet in an emergency, this one here is a very simple collapsible toilet. I haven't used this one yet. I haven't needed to. As you know, I have sort of 24-hour gym memberships and there's toilets everywhere. But if I am really out in somewhere rural and I did get caught short for a number 2, should we say, I do have this. Someone gave me this as a gift, and having it on board in case of an emergency would be a handy thing to perhaps have. So some of the other bits, always make sure that you have extra blankets. Having enough blankets is an absolute must. Being able to layer up when it's cold is ideal. I use a cheap sleeping bag, and then I have my heated blanket, and then this one on the top like you have seen before. The 2 boxes that you see just down at the end there, one has my underwear in and socks, but the other one I keep tools in. Being able to repair things on the go is something that you might need to do, and being caught short with no tools at all would be a very big rookie mistake. So make sure you do have, you know, an array of tools on board just in case the worst happens. That's all the basics that I would say are van life essentials, things that you are, if you're just starting out, are gonna absolutely need. And they're cheap. There's nothing there that's massively expensive, obviously, apart from the power station. But I do have codes on my page. If you have a look for those, I'll pop it in the description for the power station. You will get a discount using my code BikerVanLife. It will make a difference because there's sales on at the moment, and it gives you an extra 10%. So that will really help. But everything else is super cheap. You don't have to spend a lot of money, but it is things that you are absolutely going to need. Things like water bottles, heated blankets, things to keep you warm are things that I can't recommend enough. I've never been in my van without any heating and been freezing cold. I've always been super warm, especially in bed, just because I can layer up, use the plugins, and yeah, super warm, super nice. So yeah, that's it from me today. I hope you've enjoyed the video. Hope it gives you some insight to van life and some of the things that you may need, and I'll see you in the next one.